YouTube? It's your boy Greg back again with another video. If you're new to this channel, we talk about fragrance related topics. So if there's something that you're interested in, please consider hitting that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every single time I upload. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about a fragrance that was just released this year from the house of YSL, and that fragrance is YSL Wide Parfum. Alright, so let's start with the presentation. Here's the bottle. It's all black. The same design as all of the wide line bottles. The cap on these is really snug. I never recommend picking it up like this, but with this one it's okay. Down inside it has YSL. And that's something you can actually pay attention to if you ever buy a bottle of YSL or any fragrance. Pay attention to details like that. Like look inside the cap, see what details they have around the cap, things of that nature. So you won't ever have to worry about getting a fake one. You'll be able to pinpoint it. But that's another video. Like I said, all black, nothing different. Here's the box that it comes in. You know, no one really cares about the box, but I thought I'd just show you guys in this video because I usually never do. So let's talk about the notes that are in this fragrance. We got apple, aldehydes, ginger, grapefruit, sage, lavender, geranium, tonka bean, cedar, and patchouli. All right, so yesterday I spent some time with this fragrance, and some of the things that really stuck out to me was that DNA that's in that wide line is still in this, and it's heavy, guys. And that's expected when you have flankers. But honestly, the wide line DNA is just like having a mom or a dad, you know, a bloodline that just has genetics that is just too strong. It's like everybody in the family just looks exactly like, you know, great grandma or great grandpa. Like that's kind of what you get with this wild line. It's like no matter what they do, that DNA is always in the fragrance is heavy. So if you don't like the DNA from the original or even from the Eau de Parfum, you're probably not gonna like this one. Now, something else that stuck out to me was that it wasn't very dark. I figured because it was a Le Parfum and that the bottle was all black that we was probably going to get kind of like a gourmandish type of YSL Wide this time, because the other ones weren't that way in my opinion. And I have two of the ones from the line, and I have the original, which is the EDT, which is very, very strong, very, very good. I really, really enjoyed this one. And I also have the EDP, which I really, really enjoy. It's very, very strong. It's, you know, it's a little bit darker than this one. However, with this one, I still was just expecting something that was going to be a little bit darker, a little bit sweeter, something that was going to just kind of be in that realm of gourmand, but it's actually not. It's actually not that dark at all, in my opinion. Now, what I will say about this one is that it's a perfect mixture of the other two that I showed you. And like I said before, the DNA in this is very, very strong. So if you are familiar with the wild line, then you know pretty much what this is going to smell like. It doesn't deviate from, you know, the original DNA much at all. In my opinion, it actually smells like this one, to be honest with you. There is a slight difference. Just a very slight difference, you know, but this one is a little bit more brighter. Although this one is an Eau de Parfum, at the time I felt like this one was supposed to be, you know, the darker one, the one that you can wear at night and things of that nature. But this one probably will go ahead and take that role now over this one, because this is a little bit more toned down as far as like this sharpness and that brightness that you get from this one, guys. But honestly, it's not sweet. It's not dark like you would think, you know, based off the presentation. So with this one, I get a lot of that lavender. I do get that sage. I do get that ginger, because it does have a little bit of that spiciness, a little bit herbaceous, guys, but it still is very, very fresh. But the prominent note in this one is still that green apple, guys. And for guys who have watched my previous videos, you know that that green apple note is really not one of my favorite things in fragrances. But honestly, in the Y line, I really like how they do it. It comes out very sharp, but it's really clean, fresh, and juicy. That's what I get with this one. Um, this one does have somewhat of a darkness to it, but like I said, it's not a dark fragrance. Like when you compare this to other fragrances that are, darker fragrances, that are sweeter fragrances, this will kind of stand out to be one of the more fresher, dark type of fragrances, guys. So let me go ahead and give you my personal opinion on what I think about this, and if I feel that you should go out there and buy this. I think you should definitely give it a wearing first. You can definitely find this in Dillard's. I believe Macy's may have it. But this is not a hard fragrance to find. It's new. It just came out this year. I would say go in the store, maybe ask for a sample or just spray it on your hand and sample it. Because you might feel that it's a little bit redundant to buy if you have either the original or the eau de parfum. Now, I know they do have another one called YSL Wide Live. I have not smelled that. I really wasn't interested in it because I felt like it was going to smell exactly like the eau de parfum, which I already have. I do need to get my nose on it so I can have a better perspective of what it actually smells like. But with this one, I would definitely say go sample it because, like I said, it may be a redundant buy because that Y line DNA is just such a strong DNA that it's heavy in every single one of the fragrances, and it's definitely pushing through in this one. But in my opinion, I'm a collector, and honestly, I like the Y line. I love what they bring to the table. I love that freshness. I love that particular DNA that the Y line has. So for me, I'm going to enjoy this. My other bottles, I've put big dents in them, so I still have this one when I run out of those. So for me, it wasn't a redundant buy. It is a difference when you smell them side by side. But honestly, like if you smell them apart, in your mind, if you're familiar with that DNA, you're probably going to think that this one smells just like the eau de parfum, guys. So that's something that I would definitely recommend. Go out there, sample it, try it out before buying it because this is actually an expensive fragrance for a designer, guys. This is about $150, $160 with taxes, so it's not going to be a cheap pickup. And I would hate for you guys to go out there and pick this up and then it's like, oh well, this doesn't even smell that much of a different from the original, and especially from the eau de parfum. But there is a difference, guys. I'm telling you. You do get more of that sage in this. It is a little bit darker. The green apple in here is still sharp, but it's a little bit sweeter. So, it's giving it somewhat of a more of a syrupy sweetness, if that makes any sense. But it's still fresh enough to wear year-round. I feel like you can wear this year-round, even though it's a dark bottle and all of that. This is something that you can wear year-round. I would definitely recommend going easy on the trigger, just like I would recommend for all of them. These fragrances from the Y line are beast mode, guys, and this is no slouch. Like I sprayed on the test strip and I had it, sitting on the table and I could smell it still pushing and pushing and pushing. And even this morning on that test strip, like it's still pushing, guys. So this is something that still has the same performance. It pushes heavy. It's going to last you probably 8 to 10 to 12 hours or more, guys. So that is a positive, with the price being what it is. It does smell good, does have good projection, has good performance, so it's not a bad release, but I honestly was expecting and hoping for something that was going to be more on that gourmandish side, guys, because I can only imagine this fragrance having a little bit more of that warmth and that sweetness. Oh man, with that DNA that's in the Y line, I feel like that would be just a killer fragrance, guys. Maybe with some tobacco, maybe some hardcore amber, something like that, guys. Maybe even some oud, maybe even something like that, guys. I feel if they were to do a fragrance like that in the Y line, oh my gosh, like that would be an amazing fragrance. But with this one, you're just getting that green apple, you're getting the lavender, you're getting that sage, you're getting some woody notes. You do get some aldehydes in this one as well, so it still has that freshness. It's not too dark, but it is a little bit darker than the eau de parfum when you actually smell them side by side. You can tell the difference. So what would I rate this? I would definitely give this, let's say I had never smelled the original or anything like that, and this was a standalone fragrance, I would definitely give it a 9 because it smells great. You know, for us frag heads, we smell so many fragrances, so our expectations are a bit high sometimes, but in a designer world, they tend to just, you know, put things out that people really, really love. So I would give it a 9, you know, if I'm talking about a fragrance that just smells good, performs well. But for me personally, being a frag head and having to rate this, I would probably give it a 7.5. Simply because it's not that unique. Yes, it is a flanker, but you still have the ability to make something, you know, totally different with the same DNA in it, you know, as a company, which a lot of designers don't do. So for me, I give it a 7.5. It's not groundbreaking, but it does smell good, does perform well, and you can't go wrong. You can wear it year round. All right, guys, so that was just a quick little review, giving you my opinion on YSL Wide Parfum. If you've smelled that fragrance, I want you to go down in that comment section and let me know what you think about it. Do you feel that it's a redundant buy when you already have either the original, the Eau de Parfum, or even the one I haven't smelled, which is Wild Live, guys? Let me know down in that comment section. And if you like the video, go ahead and give your boy a thumbs up. That's going to be it, guys. Take care. Peace.